There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonko table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonko table, the table that will make their dreams come true.
Yo, folks. Welcome to the latest and the greatest from the Yonko table. That is the voice of Grandmaster Hoop coming at you from 55 levels below Cybertron, because that's right, we are here to discuss Transformers 1. That's right, folks. The Transformers are back again for another theatrical outing. This time we're back in animated format with Transformers 1. And dare I say, this just may be the best Transformers movie of all time. Is that saying much? We'll get into this discussion. With me, as always, is fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney. DrJaceAttorney. Transformers, more than meets the eye?
Give me the cue, boy!
What does that mean? Do you miss Michael Bay and his live-action Transformers?
I think they might be superior.
No, you're lying. You're lying!
I smell you, boy!
Ain't no way.
I needed some zingers in this movie.
Ain't no way. I will scrap and swap zingers for a story about Transformers. Are you going to die on that hill today?
I probably won't die on it. I think they're better than the Bayverse movies. This one is, but I'm on the fence about it, calling it a step above the original 80s Transformers movie, which I know you never saw.
I have seen it, and that's just nostalgia talking.
No, you're not one to talk about nostalgia dictating your actions.
That's just nostalgia and that kick-ass song, You Got the Touch.
I didn't get anything like that here.
You got the power. You're just.
I didn't get a theme.
Listen, this movie arguably can be considered the best Transformers movie. Like you said, leagues above the Michael Bay. One could probably argue the 80s film. One might argue the Bumblebee film. We'll get into this. Was it missing a theme? Potentially. But let's transform this and roll out. What makes this film work? Well, first of all, you want to bring up the 80s movie. It's been 38 years since our last theatrical Transformers film. Let me give you some knowledge here. First things first, this film is directed by Josh Cooley. Are you familiar with Josh Cooley?
He's not related to Ryan Coogler, is he?
No, that's stupid. No. Josh Cooley. So here's credit to this film before you even have to watch the film. He co-wrote the script of Inside Out, the original Inside Out, 2015. Props.
Okay. I didn't see that here, but
he didn't write the script here.
Okay.
He's just director, which is directing credit. He directed Toy Story 4.
That explains so much.
What are you saying?
Listen, there's an extra draft of this movie that makes it better than what we got. So when you're saying he directed Toy Story 4, and I'm like, that explains so much.
Wow. So
casting Michael Keaton, Keegan-Michael Key, whatever.
Keegan-Michael Key, you got it. Keegan-Michael Key.
Casting Keegan, Mike, and Key as just a punchline in his movie.
You said Kegel, don't say that.
Casting him again to just be a punchline in his movie. There was something in this movie. I was like, I shit you not. I've seen this before somewhere. And now that you said the quiet part out loud, I'm like, this is just Toy Story 4.
Oh, you need to stop. This ain't nothing like Toy Story 4. Megatron is not Woody, and Optimus is not Buzz. That's not.
I was gonna say
on
she's
here.
Bo Peep.
Oh no. Listen, maybe this will enlighten you a little more. So he's at the director helm, written by Andrew Barrer and Gabriel Ferrari. Significant writing credit, Ant-Man and the Wasp. How do you feel? Did they bring the Ant-Man and Wasp to the Transformers universe?
I think that's a better question directed to you. How do you feel about the Ant-Man and Quantumania writers coming in?
No, not Quantumania.
I'm sorry, Ant-Man and Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes, Ant-Man and Wasp.
I don't think it's as fun as Ant-Man and the Wasp, but listen, there's good things in this movie. Maybe this is coming from screenplay writer Eric Pearson. Would you like to hear Eric Pearson's credit? He's credited here for the dialogue and everything that comes through. Would you like to hear what he's credited for?
That's one thing I did like about the movie. I think there were parts of dialogue that I really enjoyed with the characters. I just didn't like how we got to that dialogue. Well, I use that loosely. We'll get into it, but yes, what did he do before?
Well, he's got quite the hand in a lot of MCU projects. Check it out. Rewrites for Ant-Man, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Infinity War, Endgame. So rewrites, and then credited writing includes Thor: Ragnarok, Godzilla vs. Kong, Black Widow, the upcoming Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four: First Steps, and Blade. It seems they trust this guy.
So he's a screenwriter for those
He's
films?
doing this, yeah, screenwriter, screenplay, dialogue, correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Come on, man. This sounds like a winning team for a Transformers film.
I don't know. That's not what we got. That's what I think I didn't get. I didn't get. Is it the 5 out of 10 that IGN gave it? No. Far from it. Is it
Far from it.
Is it the Across the Spider-Verse that some weirdos online are claiming it to be? Far from it as well. It is no Across the Spider-Verse. I'm sorry. I think it's somewhere in between, but we'll get into it.
Okay, lastly, let's talk about this cast. Quite the cast for a Transformers film. I don't think you ever had this much star power as the voices behind Transformers. You have Chris Hemsworth filling in the shoes of Peter Cullen as Orion Pax.
I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I felt like it was just Chris Hemsworth just putting on an American accent. And I feel like his Britishness was oozing out at certain points. Like he wanted to elongate certain vowels as he was speaking as Orion Praxis.
Orion
Paxes. Listen, my thing with this, and it's a Hollywood thing, because you're about to go down the rest of the cast. I don't like it when Hollywood takes like tried and true iconic voices for roles and they insert a star power lead to replace whoever was the iconic voice for that character. Yeah, if you're Chris Pratt.
Okay with Keanu Reeves as Shadow the Hedgehog.
No, because Sonic and Shadow they've been tossed around with VAs for years. That's part of the course. But Optimus Prime,
Peter Cullen, if it ain't broke.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I don't know. Listen, the number one excuse is gonna be they wanted a younger Optimus. They wanted like a more green Optimus. That's not the tried and true leader of the Autobots. But I call BS, man. Give Peter voice direction and tell him do Optimus, but make him more green, make him more young. I think Peter can pull it off.
The man's pushing 85, man.
Give it to him. Give it to him. Because if they're using age, then give me the excuse for Charles Martinet over Chris Pratt. Or give me what's a
I mean, Chris Pratt's everywhere.
No, God, what's his name? I just had it. Chris Evans over
Chris Hemsworth.
no, Chris Evans over Tim Allen for
Oh my gosh,
Lightyear.
come on. These are completely different.
No.
These are younger versions of the characters.
I don't need him.
No, Chris Hemsworth did a good job. I thought he did a good job. Yes, it was definitely at times you can tell I don't know how many times he's done an American accent. I can't count them because I haven't seen him do it that many times. I could tell he was trying hard, but I think he captured that optimism of Optimus. I think I got that from him. That's what I wanted. Now, the big standout here's your argument here. You got Frank Welker, who has been doing Megatron for numerous iterations of Transformers. Brian Tyree Henry brought in as Megatron D16. Will you say the same?
I'm kind of 50-50 on him. He almost sounded too what's the word? I guess too nice in a way. I don't know. Maybe I'm being picky with it. I think he was fine as Megatron. If I had to pick one side over, if you had to change either one of them, I'm fine with Megatron, I guess. I'm fine with him. I'll give him a pass.
People are calling him the clear standout of the vocal cast.
Like stand out in a good way, or?
Yes, in a good way.
Okay. Yeah.
He's kind of the most well-rounded character in the film, and that's also due to the masterful depiction of D16 Megatron.
I like how it evolves over the course of the film, because he starts off, his voice specifically starts off very light and kind-hearted.
Sure.
And you could say the same about Orion, right? And throughout the movie, they slowly start to get that baritone that you typically would hear in their voice from their iconic voices. And then so like with Megatron, you get the raspiness a little bit towards the end. I thought he did a much better job. And then with Chris, you start hearing the Autobots. Like you start hearing it, and I'm like, God damn it! If you're gonna impersonate the man, just give him the role. At this point, give Peter the role. But sure, whatever.
Trying to honor him. He's trying to honor him.
Honoring would be giving him some kind of role in this movie. You know, Peter has been doing this for 30 plus years, and he's like, this is my moment to be on the big screen.
What do you mean? He's in all the live action ones. It's okay.
No, animated, where he's on screen the entire time.
The last time he was animated on screen, they killed him.
Which
It's
one?
literally the plot of the 80s movie.
Oh,
They kill
animated. Okay.
Yes.
Right. Doesn't matter.
I think the internet has much praise from Brian Tyree Henry, Paperboy. Come and get your paper, Megatron. Keegan-Michael Key, yeah, I think it's a miscast as Bumblebee.
Wow, you think that's a miscast?
I would have liked a younger sounding voice. You know, we talk about younger. Keegan-Michael Key just sounds like Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee. I think I would have gone with a younger cast. That's just me.
I think there were some instances where I was somewhat sold on his voice, but then others, yeah, I just heard Keegan, and I don't know.
They said just do your bit, but fast and witty. That's all we want.
Fast and witty,
because that's what we got. Scarlett Johansson as Alita 1. Yeah,
I was fine. Yeah,
this is fine.
This is the problem with star-studded cast. You just hear them sometimes in the role, which in some instances it's fine. But I don't know. Paperboy, Paperboy was the best performance.
Of
I think.
The core four.
Of the
yes.
core, yeah.
Yes. ScarJo, I don't think she's that great of a voice actress. I don't think
Wow.
her voice has that much range. But I think she did fine here, but her tone is very sounds pretty even across the board. But the rest of the cast, just Lawrence Fishburne, Alpha Trion, John Hamm, Sentinel Prime. Everyone did a fine job here. I don't think anyone was terrible, but as you said, it is the Hollywoodization of voice performances. It is very hard to separate sometimes, but I don't think anyone was so bad. Yeah, I said what I said about Keegan-Michael Key, but it wasn't terrible. But that's not what we're here for. Vocal performances aside, writers, directors aside, we need to get into the nitty-gritty, the spark, the core of this film, and why this movie is separated from the rest. Listen, we had 5 Michael Bay directed films, 1 Bumblebee film, 1 Rise of the Beast since the 1980s Transformers film. Are Transformers back with this movie? Are we back?
I don't think we ever left. I think those
Are we back in terms of actual good movies?
You could argue some of those past ones were good. And
The Bumblebee one is
really good.
Yes, sits at the top of all those.
Right. There's a soft spot for the original Transformers.
Mojo, get off the robot.
That still hits. Linkin Park at the end still hits.
Oh my gosh, I guess.
From there, that's where you get wishy-washy. Revenge of the Fallen was pretty bad.
Considered one of the worst movies ever.
Right. Dark Side of the Moon. I kind of like that one. Sentinel Prime also in that movie.
Also doing the same thing they did there with here.
Optimus, please. Lights out.
That's not what he said. But I think the 3 Shia LaBeouf movies are enjoyable. They're fun.
Right. I think once you get into the Romeo and Juliet laws of Age of Extinction, that's where you start losing me.
That's when I'm like, Michael Bay, you gotta go. Just look at this. Michael Bay leaves. It's the director's chair for Transformers films. You get Bumblebee, Rise of the Beast. People like those.
Mm-hmm.
He leaves director's chair for the Bad Boys franchise. Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys 4. People like those. I see a trend here.
What about he wasn't a director's seat for Ninja Turtles?
Never was. People like those movies to a degree.
People like the elevator scene from the first Ninja Turtles.
I guess there's a trend here. But yes, here's the common thread with all those live action ones. Simply, the Transformers weren't the stars. They weren't the stars.
They were not. Yeah, that was and I think that was our main complaint always coming out of those movies. When is Hollywood gonna learn to stop putting the humans at the forefront in a Transformers film? Just give me what I want. I want to see Optimus. I want to see Megatron. Humanize them, and those are your human characters that are metallic.
Correct. I just think the subplot of whatever the humans had going on did not ever weigh in comparison to the universe-shattering things going on in the world of the Transformers. Well, my brother's sick. I can't pay for his hospital bills. Unicron's coming to eat the earth.
That's a good juxtaposition to show how minuscule his problems really are.
No, this is bad. This doesn't work. It's as you said. These characters can have a human element. These robot sentients can have a human element. And I think that's what really drives this movie here. Because this is probably the most kind of 1v1 Transformers interactions in any of these movies since the 80s movie. The Transformers have a conversation that lasts more than 5 lines.
Right.
Never been done before in the Bay films.
Because they had a high budget. Yeah, all that.
I told you, you can't hurt the humans. We're here to protect them. I'm sorry. I just wanted to show them my guns.
See, that first one is up there.
No.
If you were just trying to shit on the movie, you did the opposite.
Fine. I got you. What's cracking, little bitches?
Who says that? Oh, Jax? Jazz. Isn't that the first one too?
Yes.
That's good.
Don't make me quote the second one.
I can't even quote the second one outside of the scenes people call problematic.
I bust a gap in your ass.
I mean, that's not even fair. That's the worst one.
Behold the great power of Jetfire.
Bad. Is bad.
Earth? Sounds like you said dirt. Planet dirt.
All right, that one's bad. No one likes that one.
Okay, they're bad. I can do the third one too.
No.
Okay. At the core of this film, it is an origin story. Did you want an origin story to the Transformers? Are you familiar with the origin story? I have an idea of what the origin story is.
Loosely familiar, because I did play the Transformers from High Moon Studios. What was it? War for Cybertron. And oh god, what was the not Battle for Cybertron? Something up for Cybertron again. The sequel. It had one sequel. War for Cybertron was the first one.
Right.
But
Fall of Cybertron.
I didn't play too much of Fall of Cybertron, but I played War for Cybertron, and that gave me a good idea of the origin story. I'm glad I did an origin story because despite Transformers still being a popular IP for kids and adults still to this day, not a lot of people know what even caused this hatred between these two characters. I think the most popular thing is they know there are Autobots and there are Decepticons, and they disagree with each other completely. And I think in terms of general audiences, because of the Bay films, that's as much as they know. Megatron wants power, Optimus wants freedom and autonomy.
And it's on site. No negotiations, no diplomatic conversations. It's guns blazing as soon as they see each other. It is never, let's talk this out, Megatron. There's enough energon to go around.
Prime! It never goes the way he thinks it's gonna go. So I think an origin story, I think that's the best idea for something like this. In terms of what we got, that's a different argument. But in terms of like making the decision of, hey, let's do something different. Let's do an origin story about Optimus and Megatron. I think that's perfect because that's an unexplored territory in the popular media of the IP. You have your comics and your other stuff, your extended material that goes into that. But a movie, a theatrical movie, I'm for it.
Yes, I thought this was a welcome addition. Having them be, they're always the center of these movies, Optimus and Megatron. So I think, a credit to the movie, because obviously we're watching the ascension of Optimus and the descension of Megatron. I think you knew that was going to be a part of the movie, in which I welcome that. It was kind of the how is what I was really looking into, because obviously there's a big twist in the movie. That them breaking up is not a twist. You knew that was going to happen. So it was all about if they executed it well. And I think they executed it well, because I think they established enough of the lore and the universe. There are some things I think they could have done better, but with them being at the center, I truly felt it was I was like, okay, I get it. Megatron's mad. I get it. He's mad. He's mad.
He took everything from me. What did he take?
His ability to transform.
Everything. That's
long hours mining for Energon.
Waste of time.
He dedicated his life to protocol.
There's a draft of this movie that I think when it goes through one more revision, I think you would have had a perfect movie. A perfect movie. A perfect descension of Megatron, a downfall of Megatron, and an ascension for Prime. Yeah.
I think there's some elements that just feel half-assed. I'll say that much.
Yes.
So, okay. The main thing here is, before Autobots, before Decepticons, Energon used to flow because the matrix of leadership was around. And then, what?
I'm just gonna say this part of the movie, I hated.
Yes, because it didn't make sense.
Not that it didn't make sense. Well, I mean, I guess part of it doesn't make sense. But for me, the reason why I hated it is because I hate exposition in movies, especially ones in the very beginning. I want to say like 60% of what was being said about the matrix of leadership or whatever the hell that thing is called, the flow of energy, it went over my head. It went over my head. I don't know. It felt ham-fisted. I think there was a much more clever way to explain the world of Transformers. Instead of telling me everything at once, maybe spread it out throughout the movie and let me learn along the way, instead of saying, people are not going to understand what's going on. Tell them everything within the first 5 minutes. Don't let a single detail slip by. Tell them about Primus. Tell them about Energon. Tell them about the Matrix of Leadership. Tell them about everything. Don't skip a beat. Don't skip anything. I don't like that. I don't like that in any movie, and I didn't like it here. And I especially don't like it that it was in the very beginning of the movie.
But you got it, though. It didn't go over your head. That's it. Primus he was the first Transformer. He became Cybertron. Energon flowed. The Primes were his first descendants, his disciples. The Primes disappear, and so does the Matrix of Leadership. So the Energon stops.
Why does it stop? Why do they need that?
Why does it stop? Why is the Energon tied to the Matrix of Leadership?
It's a toy. They're toys. Get over it. They're toys.
I like a good story, but yes, this was one of the weaker parts where I'm just like, a MacGuffin. A MacGuffin
it is
that's
a MacGuffin.
Not even explained. It's not even explained. But the Energon, there's not a lot to go around. So who's got to go find it? The miner class. The miners.
It was just dumb the way they kept miners.
There's miners on the track.
There's no way they did not read those parts of the script out loud and didn't laugh.
Oh, they had to. I was getting kind of annoyed. I was like, please stop saying miners.
Can you call them something else?
You just punched a miner.
Did you just kill a miner?
You saved that miner back there.
Catch those miners. This is dumb. Call them something else.
This was something where I felt they could have cooked a little more, because obviously there's this class division on Cybertron.
Yes, yeah.
Right, where you have the miner class who just works and mines for Energon all the day long. Hi ho, hi ho. And then they can't transform either, so they're second class citizens at this point.
And I kind of wish they went into more detail. Like they somewhat explain, like, yeah, if you can transform, you can.
You're top dog.
You're top dog. Okay, but why? Like, how? In what way in your society is that considered like upper class? I guess because they did show like, oh yeah, you could enter the Grand Prix 3000 or whatever the hell that thing's called.
Or Iacon 5000.
Iacon 5000. Or I guess they can go into battle, right? If they can transform.
Yeah.
We're on the damn planet that they were born on. I wanted to learn about their society. As simplistic as it may be, because they are toys at the end of the day, I would have liked to have seen more into their life as, if they can't transform, okay, they're miners, so they just mine. That's all they do. But what else do they get for being able to transform? How does that affect their day-to-day life? I would have loved to have seen that. To flesh out, this believability where it's like, wow, I would be mad like Megatron right now. He took my ability to transform. Okay, what does that mean?
I could have been sipping Energon on a beach.
I could have been a tank. I could have been a tank this whole time, and he took that from me. Okay.
Do you know what that's like?
I'm surprised he didn't turn into a gun like the OG one.
Well, technically, that's one of his triple transform abilities: a tank and a literal gun.
That'll be in the sequel.
Yeah, that'll probably come later. But yes, this is the first film where we're actually on Cybertron for more than a prologue. So this was the opportunity. I mean, they gave us some stuff, like we said. There is this class division. There is this chance to prove you're more than meets the eye if some miners join the race, Well, really, we don't get too much. But we do get Optimus and Megatron, Orion and D1, and their brotherly love and, optimism to be better, while one wants to follow protocol. But, well, he's got his brother's back. Right? And of course, this leads to the bigger things of the lore. They get the distress signal, the call for adventure. The call for adventure is what they call it.
Another MacGuffin. Like, what are the odds of them getting that beacon in that moment, in that specific spot? Why is it there? How is it still around?
Well, Bumblebee found it. He found it in the trash.
Dumb. Just
how did it get to the trash?
How did it get to the trash? And what are the odds that Megatron? And
it's a map that knows exactly where they are.
Listen,
for them to go and find it.
It's a kids movie. Who cares? No, kids deserve better. Although there was this one adult next to me.
I recall.
And this person sounded like they'd never seen a movie before. No, they've never seen a plot or a story or character growth at all, because they were mesmerized at everything. Like, oh my God, that's a beacon. That's going to show them where to go. And they weren't being sarcastic. They were being serious the entire time.
Let them have their fun with the Transformers.
I let them have their fun. I was smirking and smiling every time they were flabbergasted, because it made me enjoy the film just a little bit more.
Oh, I thought that would have annoyed you the whole time.
No, it was just like, wow, I guess this person has never read fiction. I admire that innocence.
Okay, sure. They never had the call to action, the chance to do something greater. So now it's the main four, through whatever shenanigans made them the main four: Optimus, or Orion, D1, Alita, and Bumblebee. B's not Bumble yet, or Badassatron. Weak joke.
Yeah, overplayed.
And again, very much. I'm a lore heavy person. I like lore.
So you love that exposition in the beginning.
No. I don't like exposition dumps, but I like a world that's being crafted. So, the primes, regular Transformers, regular bots look up to primes, and they might have a favorite. So this was one aspect that I enjoy, that, and I wish they told us more about the other ones, but D1 Megatron was a fanboy of Megatronus Prime.
Whoa, what are the odds?
He was the biggest and baddest of the primes.
He was a baddie.
Whoa, you got a holographic Megatronus sticker?
It's just a sticker. I thought it was gonna be like an engraved hologram that you could like, I don't know, put on it. I didn't know it was gonna be a peel off sticker. But
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
He's like a nerd. Megatron, a nerd.
He is. I did like that they. One thing I will praise about the movie is that, because sometimes plots like this like to blow their load very early so that fans recognize like this is Megatron. Remember, this is Megatron, or this is Optimus. Remember, Autobots roll out. They don't do that here. They really try to humanize Megatron, and they give him moments like this, and sometimes you forget this guy's gonna try and kill Optimus one
Eventually,
day.
at some point, right?
Eventually, but I like that they did that here, because sometimes you don't get that in movies like this, because the filmmakers or the showrunners want to remind you from the beginning, like, this person's evil. Look, he's saying some shady stuff early on. This is a fanboy. He was not born to always want to hate Optimus. He is geeking out right here. He's in a way innocent, and he's just trying to live his life. I like that they showcased that. They weren't afraid to give that to the villain.
This was good. This was good stuff. And even to juxtapose, you know, kind of, he had a strong belief in certain pillars of their society, the Prime, the protocol, you know, they're minors. He's willing to stick to it. But Optimus is I don't think I've ever put together that Optimus is derived from optimism.
Dumb.
I used to teach English.
What do you think Megatron's derived from?
But Optimus is the optimistic one. He believes in not necessarily concrete things. He believes in ideas and ideals of, you know, what could be, you could be better. You could be, you know, this doesn't have to always be the way it is. You can be more than meets the eye. So I thought throughout those two combating ideas, and when we see them blow up, it was very well done, which we get here. They travel to the surface, they meet Alpha Trion, and they learn of the big twist of the movie, the big twist. Everything's a lie. It's Sentinel. It's Sentinel Prime.
And listen, I know I got done praising that they weren't shy about giving Megatron like that air of innocence. Like, they didn't have to remind you, hey, this is Megatron, he's evil in the beginning. I feel like they did the opposite with Sentinel Prime. Because from the very beginning, from his first appearance, the movie runners could not help themselves but make it so obvious this man is hiding something from the Autobots. Because in part of his speech, he's like, we did not find the matrix of leadership, but we will someday. Not now. Later. Somewhere in the future. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you saying it like this? I think I would have loved to have been let's say I didn't know who Sentinel Prime was. I did not know from his comics or movies that he tends to portray Optimus and the other Cybertronians.
I mean, this is just, I don't know if it's coincidence, but this is the second time Sentinel has played a pivotal betrayal of the characters in the film.
At this point, I might as well accept the fact that anytime you see him, don't trust him.
Don't trust him.
Don't trust him. But I would have liked to have suspend my disbelief and be immersed and think, I don't remember who Sentinel was. But look at him right here. He seems to be a leader. He's leading the Cybertronians. He seems like a nice guy. That's great. And then the twist of him betraying everyone would have hit a lot more. But I feel like because it's a kid's movie, or at least it's directed at children, they weren't confident in keeping kids suspended to not trust this guy from the beginning. I don't know. I didn't like it. It's like Hans from Frozen. Can you imagine if Hans if for Disney they were giving huge hints from the beginning that Hans was evil when he was, singing and swindling Anna. It wouldn't have hit as hard when you realize, oh wow,
he's the bad guy.
Who could ever love you? That hits for those reasons. You did not see it coming, and that's a children's movie.
Yes.
I feel like they could have done it here with Sentinel, and they didn't. They wanted to make it on the nose. Don't trust him. He's evil. And yeah.
And I think they did that intentionally because they wanted you to focus on his reaction, on Megatron's reaction to it all. That was supposed to be kind of the bigger, shocking kind of, I don't know, revelation.
I think you can have both.
I think you can have both. Yes. In a better story, you can have a great rug pull where Sentinel is like, yeah, I killed the Primes. The Quintessence, another thing I am not too familiar about, a whole nother race of aliens.
Oh, I'm not familiar with them either.
They're out here trying to eradicate the bots, the Transformers, for whatever reason.
Where are they from?
Well, I don't. Quintessence Delta. No, I don't know. I made that up.
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know anything about these things. I was like, whoa, there's a whole nother. They're not fighting each other. They're fighting a whole nother race.
Correct.
This is crazy.
Correct.
So, I think they wanted you to more highlight on Megatron's downfall or his reaction to this rug pull than the actual rug pull itself. To where I think, yes, you can have both in a better film. This is not that film. This is not that film.
Don't like it.
So if you put aside the weak rug pull that was Sentinel Prime, because yes, his henchman Arachnid, who's the most villainous character or villainous looking character of all this Transformers.
Why? Because she's a spider.
Nice... Oh, right.
You can't trust spiders.
What is this? They're cars. They're planes. You're a helicopter that when you come back into bot mode, you're just this creepy, nasty spider.
I think you can not judge a book by its cover.
I'm just saying. I mean, you have spider bots that are like beast, whatever. This one's a spider, just plain. They don't transform into a spider. They transform back into a spider.
And maybe she's goth.
I'm like, that's got to be a villain, right?
You can't trust her.
You can't. How did you feel about the whole thing about they don't get to it's an hour and 45-minute movie, which I think was a great runtime for this movie, but they don't transform, I think, until the hour mark.
I'm okay with them not transforming until the hour mark, because then that big reveal when they finally can, it hits a lot more.
But did that reveal hit?
I feel like for me the reveal did hit because you were waiting for it the entire time. You wanted to see them morph into their their cars or their tanks or whatever. What I didn't like, and maybe that's part of how long it took to get there, was how quickly they grasped being able to transform. Because they clearly show in the beginning,
Where's my head?
Where's my head? I need wheels! And those bits were funny. And I like that they were in there, because it's like, yeah, they should not be familiar with that, because they've lived their entire lives not knowing how to do this. But then at one point, like within like 30 seconds of struggling with that, you have Optimus just like morphing in and out of, turning into truck mode and drifting around corners. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. You had no idea that you guys could. Good. Yeah, he's really good. Call that instinct, call that innate talent, I guess. No, I don't like that. I don't like that they're struggling with it in the beginning and then they just immediately grasp how to use it. They're using it as effectively as someone like Sentinel, who's had it his entire life. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I think if you have a longer runtime, you may even get a training sequence where they actually bother to train, or a quick montage of them trying to transform, and then them trying to get better at transforming, them trying to transform on the go, transform mid-combat. I think in a longer runtime, you have that scene, and which then gives credit to kind of what you're saying.
And I think if you have training moments like that, you can even use it as a contrast to their growth as characters throughout those sequences of the film. Like maybe you have Megatron, he's still teetering back and forth between we can stop Sentinel. I want to kill Sentinel.
And then he transforms into the tank.
Yes. And the entire time, it's like he's struggling with transforming, but once his ideals get cemented, that's when he's able to transform completely. And but that's a story tool to say he's transformed into the monster that he's become, that we've always known him for. But you don't get that if they can just transform willy-nilly from the beginning without any training, any build-up. I like that they struggled in the beginning. I wish they struggled a little bit more with the transformation.
No, I'm with you. I was like, oh, that. And again, I was like, it's the runtime.
Make it longer if you need to. Make it longer. Add 10 minutes.
I think you'll get what happened with Into and Across the Spider-Verse. Into is about an hour and 40 minutes. Across is like 2 hours and 20 minutes.
And none of that feels as long as the runtime is. Like you go into Across the Spider-Verse, unless you're just illiterate, you do not feel that movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
You don't.
No.
It goes by like that. Yeah. Completely.
Honestly, it's the Gwen scene that adds the extra 20 minutes. That Gwen sequence is literally 20 minutes long. And
it's perfect. That could be a short movie.
Correct. It very much could stand on its own. You meet the High Guard, which I also thought, see, again, I like lore. They were the ones who originally went looking for, or went to battle with the Primes, I guess. And they witnessed Sentinel betray the Primes. And they've been out here ever since. And I was like, oh, who's part of the High Guard?
Oh, you knew who was going to be here.
Well, I was waiting for them the whole time. I was like, maybe they're like the top racers in Iacon City. Maybe they're like these gladiators or something. I was like, where are they? And it's, I mean, only 3 of them really mattered. Starscream, Shockwave, Soundwave. In a Transformers movie, I like seeing many Transformers, classic Transformers, outside of our main 4 and these 3 right here. And I guess Sentinel, the only other one that made a significant appearance, very brief though, was Jazz.
Right.
There might have been some others, but
I'm sure the real fans recognize a lot the names on the racer boards.
Okay, I was paying attention to some of the names.
Yeah, there's definitely some on there. And I'm sure they said some names through some of the crowds that people saw.
I heard someone say Dr. Ratchet.
I know Ratchet.
Right. There was Easter eggs throughout.
Was there an Ironhide? I didn't see Ironhide.
I did not see any kind of semblance or Easter egg pointing towards Ironhide. No.
Okay.
I mean, I could have missed it. I'm not a real Transformers fan.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that scene was cool. Again, I think there's a better draft of this part of the movie.
I don't know. I thought this scene was probably
the scene, the actual. Okay, you're talking about Megatron's like thing here, right?
Yes, correct.
Yes, I liked that part of it. What I didn't like was Starscream looks like he's like the leader of this group for decades.
Correct.
And he just, I like that he's getting in his face. I like that he's challenging him because, you know, we know how much Starscream is a bitch to Megatron in his later iterations. But right here, he doesn't know him. So he's gonna get up in his face. He's gonna call him out. And they have a fight. What I didn't like is how quickly the High Guard just said, fuck it to Starscream. All hail Megatron! And I'm like, okay, I get it. You're trying to say that you guys rule by whoever's the most powerful.
By the fist.
By the fist. I think Starscream lost way too quickly. I'm sorry.
I'm telling you, it was a mad dash to the finish.
They
said we got about 20 minutes left for D116 to be Megatron. What are we gonna do? We'll let him beat up Starscream, and right when he's about to punch him, make the gun come out. The iconic Megatron cannon.
Okay, that part was cool.
That part was they ate.
I like that. That's why I'm so torn about this movie, because there are things in here that are really good, and scenes like that sell it. Where, like you say, he's about to punch Starscream, and it's that final transformation, the gun, where he's like, you realize, oh, he's ready to kill him.
Right.
He's ready to kill him. But it just happened too quick. Starscream should be able to maybe not beat Megatron's ass completely, but he's basically made a bitch immediately in this scene. Immediately. He gets probably 2 clean hits on Megatron. I don't like that.
Not to mention, they're the High Guard. They've been doing this for
decade, 50 plus cycles. Easily.
These guys have been miners their whole life.
Miners!
What do they know about combat?
They should know nothing. Absolutely nothing. But
again, yeah, these work for me. You see it like in Orion's eyes. He's like, oh God, I'm losing him. Funny enough, I never realized how coded Megatron and Optimus are for so many other like fictional rivalries.
Oh God, don't do this.
Come on.
Don't.
They're Professor X and Magneto. They are Naruto and Sasuke.
Guess what came first?
I think they came first.
When did the X-Men come out?
Okay, X-Men came first.
Okay.
Okay.
They stole it from this toy line.
I don't think they stole it. Just it's fun to watch. I don't know. Maybe this is just where some fictional stories lean. They say we got to have 2 main characters that have opposing ideologies. They'll have a fallout. But they'll be brothers. They'll always be brothers. But we got to go our separate paths.
I enjoy that.
I think it worked here because maybe we like you said earlier, there's a mainstream audience that have never seen the actual divide between Megatron and Optimus Prime. It's just always been on site.
Right.
So like in the Michael Bay movie where Optimus after the cube goes into Megatron's chest, you know, Optimus says something like, "It didn't have to be this way, brother." Brother?
What does that mean?
What do you mean?
Maybe he...
Are they brothers?
No, I always took that as like he sees all Cybertronians as family. Like, you know, you're my brother. We are akin. That's how I always took scenes like that with Megatron and Optimus. But clearly this film's establishing they were more than that. They were, you know.
Oh, Apex says it's gay coded. Like,
you
can make the argument.
You could say it.
There were some long-standing looks between them, like,
you did all this for me?
I don't think Transformers can love, you know.
I don't think they've ever established. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't read all the extended material.
I don't know either, but I said you could make the argument.
You can, cause like even with oh, I already forgot her name. Alita, Battle Angel. Towards the end, it kind of felt like Optimus was saying like, well, I am gonna need a commander, a battle commander. I don't know. Just the way he said it implied to me just a little bit like, are you hitting on her?
Oh God, no! I don't.
I don't know. Why not Bumblebee? Why not Bumblebee?
Because he's
Why
a
not?
dummy. He's a dummy.
No.
She's more qualified.
And just as a quickie, because we barely mentioned him, and that's probably a sign to his character, I don't like too much how they handled Bumblebee in this movie. I feel like he's one note. He's
just a clown.
He's just a clown. He's there to be the joke. He's there to make the kids laugh to an extent where he's repeating jokes over and over again, like, I'm Badassatron. That was not funny the first time. It's not going to be funny the fourth or the fifth or the sixth time.
Also, do Transformers have asses?
Yes, they do.
Okay, so ass would be in there.
Ass would be, I mean, I don't know if they go to the bathroom, but they have a butt.
But asses would be in their, like, dialogue, their dialect.
Yes, this is not like the credits situation in Star Wars where it's like, cash at me my credits. Or I'll write you a check. I'll write you a check in Star Wars.
Need a paycheck. Go to hell. I'll see you in hell. They said hell in this movie too, but
what did it pull you out of the movie?
A little bit. I was like, Transformers don't have hell.
That means there's a robot.
Well, it's
Jesus.
like this. They say what the hell, but then they say Holy Primus.
Oh, Bumblebee did say that. Yeah.
Right. So, where do we draw the line? Where's the drama turn?
They said holy, so that means that there has to be a
religion.
A religion, things that they hold sacred.
Yeah.
There
Sure.
it is.
I guess. It's a mad dash to the end. I thought the ending was actually pretty well done. I call it a mad dash, but it's a short run time. I said in this final sequence in a bad movie, Megatron does not kill Sentinel. Sentinel goes to jail. Sentinel stands trial or whatever in a sequel. I said no, he's gotta die
By Megatron.
by Megatron, and it has to be like that line in the sand. It's Magneto doing the coin through Sebastian Shaw's head.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It did give that.
And I'm fine with that. It worked here. I think it worked. And then also too, Sentinel doing the, you like Megatronus? Get this. I stole his core. You know, you like him so much. Why don't we just...
Can robots feel pain on their metal?
Yes, they definitely can feel pain.
That was good. That I was surprised they even went that far. Again, this is a kids movie.
It is targeted at a younger audience.
Right, and they're having a villain basically maim a character in this film. And they show it. They show the maiming. They don't just like cut away to, well, I mean, in a way they kind of do cut away, but in a lesser movie, they just imply what happened versus him bringing out the blowtorch and say, well, if you like him so much, here you go. And you hear him screaming, and yeah, that I was surprised they kept that in there.
They were chewing up the drama. They were trying to really spice this movie up, and I thought it was okay. I was like, whoa, okay, this is it's entering an adult themed territory while still being a Transformers film.
One scene I liked a lot was when he originally tried to kill Sentinel, but Optimus got in the way. And then he tries to save him on the ledge, and I like the transition. He's like, why'd you do this? Why do you keep doing this? I'm done saving you.
You mean when he unlocked his Sharingan?
Yes! Is Naruto coded? Oh my god! He killed his friend, his best friend, and he unlocked his Mangekyo. Wow. Wow.
Literally, his eyes went from orange to blood red.
There it is. It's on the wall.
It's okay. Optimus and Megatron paved the way for Naruto and Sasuke, just for Naruto and Sasuke to pave the way for Optimus and Megatron. It's a full circle moment.
I like that red streak that he got every time he moved with the red eyes. Did you notice that?
Oh, no, I don't think so.
It was like a little animation flare where once he had the red eyes, every time he moved, it would leave like an after effect. It was very small, but you could clearly see it from his eyes. It was nice. It showed he's gone. He's gone.
And again, I think their descent and upcomings was the best part of the film. Now, here's another Deus Ex Machina.
Your noble sacrifice will now grant you the What sacrifice? He stopped Megatron from killing Sentinel. What? How is that a noble for what? What he
didn't succeed either.
Right. I don't get this. Like, maybe if the Prime said like, Optimus, or Orion, you've shown so much leadership in your entire life. You're the main character from here on, buddy. Here you go. They didn't even do that. They said your noble sacrifice grants you the matrix of leadership. I'm sorry. So you're telling me if he didn't try and get himself killed for Sentinel, they wouldn't have given him the matrix?
The fact that actually, too, that it was for Sentinel, the guy that killed all the Primes.
It makes no sense.
They said, you know what? We like you anyway, Optimus. He did kill us. All us Primes. Sentinel killed us, but we're not saying we would have killed him either, which they probably would have.
But you show compassion. That says a lot. You've shown optimism in the face of hatred. It's almost like you're an optimistic guy. Oh.
You got the touch.
Wow, they could have done it there.
They could have done it right there, and that movie would have been a 10 for me.
No, that's nostalgia 10.
It would have been a 10. That's the right amount of nostalgia right there. Right there. You mean he beams back up in a beam of light in his G1 look, and he's got the flamethrowers, he's got the axe, and he's got the face mask. That was it. That was their moment.
I liked it. I like that sequence. It was really good.
Yeah, the ending, the third act, I thought was actually really good.
One thing I will say, because I don't think we touched on it a lot, the action sequences in this movie are really, really good.
Now, hold up. IGN, I'm trying not to, I found it interesting. They said the action sequences were hard to follow. And I don't want to say inaudible, but like it was hard to follow with your eyes.
I think to an extent I understand where they're coming from, because some instances I was almost like that, where, and maybe part of it is because how close we were to the screen, because we were sitting in like the fourth row from in the movie theater. But there were some instances where, like, for example, when they were joining the race and they were racing the other Transformers, I could not tell at certain points what was going on. How did Optimus and Megatron get out of that sequence, or how did they transform or morph out? I don't know. It was a combobulated mess to an extent, but those instances were very few and far between for me, because a lot of the times they got creative with how they were implementing their transformations in the fights.
Correct.
Like that final fight, you had Optimus like transforming into the truck and like drifting to sweep him from his legs. And I know I got through saying like I wish they spent a lot more time learning how to use it, but for an ending sequence, I don't mind this being here. I just wanted the in-between. I wanted the in-between of them learning how to get to a scene like this where he's beating the crap out of him, morphing in and out of the transformations, using the axe, using the gun for Megatron. Like, that was really cool. I think they ate with the action, while at times it was a little hard to follow because of how much craziness was going on.
Agreed. I think a lot of the camera work was really well done. Like, there's not a lot of cuts between these action sequences,
Except for those fades to blacks.
okay. The face of black, those were like the end of the sequence.
There were too many.
Knocked out.
We have to transition to the next scene.
Right. But amidst the action,
Right, yeah.
it was a lot of kind of one shots. And the camera work was really done well. It would go from like over their head into the view of the car or whatever. And I thought it was really sleek. And I think they can only go up from here as far as action. Like you said, they even got creative. There was a point, Megatron was the tank and he transformed back into Megatron, and then the cannon kind of went to his shoulder.
Yeah.
At one point, I was like, oh, I didn't know he could do that, but that was pretty cool.
Right.
I would welcome. Even Alita had some really cool stuff with her bike, or little.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she did.
That was
I did
sleek.
like hers.
Right. So, I think you can only go up from here. The first Michael Bay movie, nobody liked the fight sequences. They didn't show much of anything.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, you couldn't see anything though. You can't.
I mean,
Revenge of the Fallen. If it did anything
okay,
right,
if you're talking of, okay, wait, what?
I'm talking about the fight sequences. If Revenge of the Fallen did anything better than the first one, it was the fight sequences of the Transformers.
I would need to rewatch it again.
Oh my god, it was leagues better.
I couldn't tell
see
you
what was going on.
I couldn't.
Optimus in the forest versus Megatron Starscream and the other dude.
Sam, where are you?
Yes, that scene. What will happen in the next movie? I hope there is a next movie. You're banished. We could have built Cybertron anew. You're banished.
It's not enough.
Over. This ain't over.
They did say it's mapped out over 3 films.
I did see that. Yep.
So we have some time. I mean, do you think it's going to be good enough to get a sequel? Like, is it on track to financially be successful?
I mean, Transformers has a big following, there's a Transformers show out right now on
Netflix,
Paramount Plus.
Oh, Paramount.
Whatchamacallit, Studio Trigger is doing some Transformer bit for some reason. Not sure why. I don't know if you saw or heard about that.
Heard about what?
Studio Trigger is making some Transformers animation.
Oh, they just did a special. It wasn't. They're not making a show. They just made like a celebration special that's like 30 seconds or whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. Transformers is not something that will ever die, nor do I think it will ever go away. So this one, being animated, as of right now, the kids don't got much to go and watch animated wise.
I think it's a good kids movie.
I think the kids will enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think if the kids push the parents to go and watch it, I mean, parents obviously, we had plenty of adults in there wearing Transformers shirts and dragging their kids, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it might be on the children. It might be on the children to bring out the box office numbers for this one, because I mean, I don't think we're really in a I know Beetlejuice made some good money its opening weekend,
but in terms of like an animated movie, there's really no competition. Right.
Wild Robot comes out in a couple of weeks.
Well, it's a good thing this came out first before that does.
I mean, the Wild Robot's getting also great praise as well.
Allegedly.
So, with that said, as of right now, I think the kids had hit a dry spell. So, I think they will be watching Transformers, especially if we put out the good word. What is your final score for this movie?
I'd give it a 7. I give it a 7, but it's a 7 with a high recommendation to go watch it, because the highs of this movie, like the performances of Paperboy as Megatron, I think he hits it. I just wanted better fleshed out moments that led to those sequences. Because like you said, we made a joke about it. He took everything from me. What did he take from you? There was at one point where he wasn't sure if Optimus was alive, because that was when him and Bumblebee were captured. So at that point, it would have made sense for him to say he took everything from me, but he needed to mention Optimus. I wish he mentioned him, like he took my friend from me. But we didn't get that. There were like some plot points that really didn't make any sense, like when they used the arachnid character to the fact that they needed that sand thing that Centurion gave them
to show
to
Sentinel. Yeah.
Right, to show them and rise up against Sentinel, but they lose that, and Optimus is able to very easily just bunker down where his old miners were and say, listen guys, I don't have any proof, but I can transform. Sentinel is evil.
Wow.
Let's get him.
He can transform.
He can transform. He could. He's got to be onto something.
He's about 10 feet taller now.
Are we going to say no to the 10-foot tall guy?
Maybe he's got a point.
Listen.
But we're just miners.
You're more than just miners. I wish they pushed back a little bit. Give me some pushback. Give me some pushback. And then convince him. And then he has to do the convincing from there. That's why I keep saying there's one more revision of the draft for this script that I think makes it a perfect movie. That tackles all those points that we laid out. So for me, it's a 7. It's no 5 like IGN is. IGN's been on a roll the last couple of weeks. I don't know who they've been getting to review some of their latest games, shows, movies. They've been on a streak. Penguin is a 5 out of 10. To be fair, I haven't seen Penguin.
I saw somebody give Penguin 5 out of 5 stars. Something's wrong.
Something's wrong. I don't know who. It must be someone that hates I don't know, entertainment, I guess. This is not an unwatchable movie. Get out of here. It is no 5 out of 10.
They gave Madam Web a 5, so
it is no Madam Web. Get the hell out of here. It is not a Madam Web.
Something is not right.
Something is not right. Then again, no one should be really giving too much weight to IGN reviews in the grand scheme of things.
I don't anymore.
I'm surprised this was the line that.
This is probably the most egregious line. I've had my doubts with IGN since Man of Steel being a 9.
Oh wow, that was probably yeah. The Snyder fans are gonna come for you.
But let them come.
Let them come. At the same time, it is I saw people comparing this to Across the Spider-Verse, and I don't know.
I saw that. I saw Spider-Verse. I saw them use the term Spider-Verse.
I don't know if they mean by animation. I don't know if they mean by like deep plot or deep character growth. Not every animated film needs to have, is it Across the Spider-Verse quality? Because then it's an unfair comparison. Because this was nowhere near Across or Into. Across or Into are leagues higher than this. Because you'd be hard-pressed to find me a weak point in either Into or Across, the same way we're pointing out problems with Transformers 1. You just don't have the same weight.
Correct.
But yes, I think it's a strong 7, a very strong 7. The kids are going to like it. The adult next to me really liked it because they've never seen a fictional story before.
Leave him alone.
Yeah, you know, turn your brain off. I think you'll probably even find it more enjoyable. But yeah, strong 7.
I'm gonna give it an 8. And I have been wrestling with the idea on the car ride home, but then every time I was like, wait a minute, I guess they did do that. I think again, these two, their relationship, strongest aspect of the movie, and I really bought into it. And I really enjoyed their dynamic. We're getting lore. I like lore, and I think the lore is enough to give us a sequel that expands upon it more. There's room to expand. There's areas that we haven't seen. So if they can capitalize on that, I think this will then have been considered really good groundwork. And yeah, the Transformers are the stars. I've been asking for that for years in a Transformers movie. And finally, they're at the forefront without some stupid human protagonists and their measly 5 to 9 middle class problems. I'm like, yes, I can relate, but I don't come to these movies, Transformers movies, to relate to you. I want to see Optimus punch something, please.
Let them come.
So,
one question. This was a nitpick of mine. Did you like how human their mouths looked?
I had to kind of like, why does he got a chin like that?
Why does he have teeth, like clean row of teeth? I didn't like the humanoid mouth.
I'm fine with it. I mean, these are really just hyper textualized G1 versions of, them, which if you go back and look at the G1 designs, they're essentially, their faces are humanistic.
Right. I don't need them robotic like Michael Bay's, everything about their mouth is like gears and cogs moving.
Right.
I don't need that.
I'm fine with it. All
right.
Because the rest of the designs, it wasn't so jarring to where I kept focusing on that the whole time.
Okay.
There were times where I was like, let me look at their eyes. Let me see how their eyes are kind of looking. Let me look at their mouth real quick. Let me see. But it was never to a point where I was like, I keep looking at their mouth. So I was fine.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, it's an 8. I think the groundwork here was really laid out well. Obviously, things could have been better in terms of fleshing it out. I really challenged them in a sequel. I hope they get a sequel to flesh out this groundwork, because Optimus ain't never been a leader before. It should not be a walk in the park.
Apparently transforming was.
I get, right. They got a whole nother alien race out there too.
Right. They left a lot of room for a sequel with that.
Right. And then on top of that too, I hope Megatron and the Decepticons are gonna not necessarily be at odds with the Autobots right away, but show that their way is the right way. Maybe they go and take on the Quintessence and they win a big battle or something. And now people are like, man, maybe Megatron's right. Hey, Optimus, he's right. We're going with him.
You're a phony.
It's at the end of the day, Transformers is a political drama. Give me the politics.
Keep my politics out of my entertainment.
It's politics. It's a war.
War doesn't have politics.
Yes, it does. Give it to me. Give it to the children. They're not stupid.
That's funny.
So, I'm trusting they can do it in a sequel. We'll see. But it's an 8. Nowhere near a 5. It's an 8, and I will say it's the best Transformers movie, I guess, since Bumblebee.
Wow. Are you saying it's better than Bumblebee?
It's better than I enjoy this more than Bumblebee. I enjoyed this more than any of the Bay films.
That's really strong.
Bay could go sit. He can go sit.
You need to put some respect on Shia.
He never needs to touch Transformers again. Thank you for Transformers 1, 2, and 3. You failed miserably with those Mark Wahlberg ones. I never need him in this franchise again. At the director's helm, he produced this one, but I don't need him at the director.
I need my Bud Light advertisement and my Mountain Dew advertisement. I didn't get it here.
You see this alien gun? Yeah, I'm gonna have a Bud Light. I don't know if that's the line, but that's how.
That's the scene.
That is the scene.
That's funny.
It's a problem.
That's funny. Yeah, 7.5. I'm not giving it the 8.
That's fine.
I'm not giving it the 8, but 7.5 at the most.
That's fine. Folks, that is it from us here at the table talking Transformers 1. Go check it out. We caught the early screening, so coming to theaters this week, upcoming week. So if you caught the early screening, please go ahead and listen to what we got to say. But thank you for your continuous support on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube with DrJaceAttorney. And of course, if you ever wanted to discuss with us anything that you hear on our show, please join the Discord link below. We got you. We'll duke it out with you. But with that said, I am your Yonko host, Grandmaster Hoop, fellow Yonko, DrJaceAttorney. How shall we close this?
Oh God, I don't know. You got the touch.
You got the power.
That's all I know.
Roll out.
Let them come.
Rise up, Decepticons.
It's Starscream.
They never explained where the name Autobots came from. I didn't like
Oh, he just said it. Ew. No, back down to a 7. Back down to a 7.
We are Autobots. I was like, wait.
No.
The Decepticons said they don't believe deception. Decepticons. Where do Autobots come from?
It just knocked it down. Congrats.